Okay, so somebody wrote in some questions about the teachings on serenity and insight. And so I thought that I would address them in a BBC because many people probably have similar questions. Okay, so the first one is I struggle with knowing, with figuring out how to know if in concentration meditation one is being successful. Okay, yes. Okay, well, if you have fewer distractions, if your mind is calmer, if when you put your focus on the object, it can stay there a millisecond more than it did last week or last month. This is a slow process. Yeah. And so you'll notice the progress, gradually. But it's in when we went over the five hindrances and the five faults, okay, and then the eight antidotes and the antidotes to the five hindrances. The more the hindrances and the faults decrease, the more the power of the antidotes increase. That shows that you're getting somewhere. Okay. So don't expect, sparkling rainbows and trumpets and you're going to enter samadhi and wake up like Whip Van Winkle, after a few eons. No, it's just gradual and just, see. And if uh, in order for your work on concentration to be successful, you have to really practice the analytic um, meditations on the antidotes, yeah, and make your mind familiar with those. Because if you just know what the antidotes are, but you don't really practice them and imagine feeling that way or looking at the situation in a different way in order to dispel whatever affliction or hindrance is there. Without doing that in the analytic meditations, then you won't be able to use the antidotes when they come up when you're trying to develop concentration. Okay? So practice those and then use them in your concentration meditation. Okay, second question was sometimes I feel that I go into a deep and quiet place that I come out of when the presenter starts the analytical meditation, feeling like a load has been lifted off my shoulders. How can I tell the difference between drowsiness and deep concentration meditation? Okay, drowsiness, you're yeah, well, I was once in a teaching when somebody started to snore, but usually it's just your mind is dull, your eyes are closing, your head is sagging. That's drowsiness. Yeah. If you're in deep meditation, your mind is alert. Yeah. And whatever your object of meditation on is vivid, and you stay on your object of meditation. Okay? So just feeling stillness in your mind, you have to figure out, you know, is your mind getting drowsy or is it being more calmer and more vivid in your meditation? So, you know, I think with drowsiness, you can feel it not only in your mind, but in your body. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but when my mind is drowsy, concentration is difficult. Yeah, because either it goes further into drowsiness, or I find that when I'm starting to fall asleep, I get kind of like dreamlike images. Do you have that? Yeah. So I can see that when I'm starting to get that, oh, I'm super not just drowsy, but super drowsy right now. Okay. Um, okay. And then the third one was, oh, so just to emphasize with that second one, yeah, your mind, your concentration has to be on the object, and the object should be, or your mind should be vivid. Okay, yeah, so alert and attentive, and absorbed, interested in whatever object you're focused on. Okay, then the third question was, when doing walking meditation or Tai Chi very slowly and being conscious of the movements and the energy of the body, is that a beneficial form of concentration? I wouldn't call it a concentration practice, because to develop serenity specifically, um, you want to develop the mind's ability to maintain focus and brightness on one object. When you're doing Tai Chi or movement or walking meditation, the object is changing all the time, isn't it? Because you have to pay attention to what your body is doing. You're feeling the air around you. Maybe you're giving yourself instructions on how to move. Okay, so I wouldn't call that concentration meditation. If you ask me, is that helpful to preparing your body and mind to do concentration meditation? I would say yes. Yeah, because those kind of activities slow you down physically. Yeah, and relax the body. When the body is more relaxed, relaxed, not meaning sleepy, lying down relaxed, but just the tightness and the tension is gone. When the body is more relaxed that way, it's going to be easier to meditate. And when the mind is also more relaxed, because often the mind relaxes when you do uh, slow, focused physical exercise, then, when the mind is more relaxed, also, it's easier for your meditation. So, those kinds of things, also including yoga and, any kind of movement things that you do slowly and with attention, yeah, those are very helpful for preparing the mind for concentration meditation. But remember that we want to develop two types of meditation. One is the stabilizing meditation that is on the side of serenity and concentration, to stabilize the mind, you know, on something. And the other is analytic meditation, where we are meditating to understand a topic that the Buddha taught. So those are different kinds of meditation. Yeah, they help each other tremendously. And when we get to more advanced levels of the practice, then they can be unified. Okay.